All right, Jared, it seems to me in our nation's capital that elected officials, and I'm talking about Republicans specifically, do not understand that these are not silly, silly groups of hippies that are living on their parents' dime on college campuses, just messing around, and that someday they'll meet the real world. They don't realize this is a cultural revolution.
It is very much. And I think we're really seeing, I think it was great that we saw Senator Tom Cotton stand up and call this what it is. This is mobocracy. This is mob rule coming to America that Abraham Lincoln talked about so eloquently in his 1838 Lyceum address and explained how this would undermine free government. It would make law-abiding citizens afraid to stand up to the mob. It would give power to those who are in the mob to dictate to the rest of society how they should think, what they should do. And I think that's really the danger of what's happening here. I think the far left in America wants to silence anybody who would dare question the narrative. This is not about truth. The truth is something that's dangerous to them. What they need is narrative, and they're willing to shut down and silence anybody who stands in front of them. That's what all the statue toppling, that's what all these attacks on news networks, that is what the bottom line, that's what this is about.
And explain, too, you wrote an entire book about this, by the way, which I encourage our viewers to get, but explain to our viewers why it is a critical part of a Marxist cultural revolution to destroy history and rewrite history, essentially, and then teach that revisionist history to the next generation.
Yeah, as I wrote my book, the War on History, this has been a long-term project by the left. The left has gotten into our schools, our public schools, obviously into academia, higher ed in this country, and they're teaching to young Americans the opposite of what our schools used to do. They used to teach patriotism. They used to teach civics, how you can be an informed patriot in this country. Now they are doing the opposite. They are un-Americanizing America's young children, and we're seeing the fruit of that. We're seeing the fruit of radical leftist historian Howard Zinn, who wrote A People's History of the United States. Well, now those vandals who you see out there toppling statues and desecrating property, that's the fruit of that. That's the fruit of that happening for years and decades in this country. That's what has to be stopped. And we need leaders, people who call themselves conservatives, to stand out there and defend Western civilization, to defend America, these institutions that have built the greatest country on earth. Now is the time for free people to stand up.